Hello everybody, thanks for joining us today. We are getting set to bring you the Greenwood Classic first round matchup, Greenwood Laboratory School versus College Heights Christian. We will have a little bit different lineup today as Michael Perigin and Max Enretter are off running cross country. Let's see what we have on the back four. It looks like we're going to come out in a 4-5-1, trying to play a counterattack style, hoping to prevent any big attacks. Noah Haley up top for the Cougars. Beatty's going to be on this near side, left back. And then we have Calandro, Dahl, and Sawkins. Number 23, Sawkins, is in the lineup today for the Cougars. And also Bowman across the back. So those five across the back. Clevenger and Schumacher in the middle, playing that defensive mid position, the two sixes. And then on this near side wing is going to be, looks like that's Edgar Nito. And on the far side is Kason Hamlin. And again, up top is Noah Haley. The Blue Jays will start with the kickoff. I'm up here in the tower to try to get a better angle today. But it is kind of windy up here, so we'll have to manage that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope to bring you a good game today. Liam Nelson is serving a one-game suspension for his red card against Webb City. And Braden Youngberg is also out for the first half from his red card versus New Covenant on a team policy. All right, we're underway. Scott plays it right into the middle. Early foul called on Clevenger for the push in the back, and the Blue Jays will get a free kick from 35 out. Ref looking to control the game early. Two-man crew in this tournament. Scott will set up for the free kick. Scott puts it on goal, actually off target, shot towards goal, but off target, and it'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Dow will take the goal kick. We'll see if they punt it away in this prevent or if they try to play it out of the back. I think they'll probably punt it away. Clevenger and Schumacher in the middle of the field. Dow backspinning ball in the middle. Schumacher tries to head over to Clevenger. Spinning ball goes to the ground, and the Blue Jays are able to control it. That's Chance Rose back in the lineup. Chance, number 11, the leading scorer for the Blue Jays, missed last game with a dislocated kneecap, but got cleared to play sooner than expected and is back in the lineup today. Bowman receives the ball on the through ball attempt by the Blue Jays and is able to get it wide to Hamlin. Hamlin on the far side pokes it up to Haley, stolen away by the Blue Jays. Well played through down the line for Rose. Rose with his left sends it way over, tried to cross it in, just got underneath it and over the goal. That'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Rose is left foot dominant, so his knee injury on the right won't be a direct effect on his kicking. He is wearing a brace today. Wind is going in the direction of the Blue Jays this first half. Ball played into the middle. Scott and Schumacher come up. Schumacher gets around. Nicholson gets the ball in the middle. It's Braden Nicholson. Stolen away by Clevenger. Clevenger carries, switching the field over to the far side for Hamlin. Hamlin receives and plays it up the line. Hamlin gets pressured by younger Nicholson and out of bounds off of Hamlin. Throw in for the Blue Jays. Up ahead to Rose. Stolen away by Sawkins. Sawkins to Clevenger. Clevenger patiently puts it ahead to Hamlin, but stolen away again by the Blue Jays. Rose, good connection pass into number 4. And I don't have the lineup in front of me. I forget what number 4's name is. He's going to be a good threat for the Blue Jays in the middle of the field today. Ball bounces over and to Clevenger. Clevenger pokes it ahead to Hamlin. Hamlin leaves it, and miscommunication with him and Clevenger, ball out of bounds. Throwing for the Blue Jays, quick in. Nicholson switching the field to the near side. Stolen away by Nato. In the middle of the field, Schumacher wins it down with his chest, plays it back to Clevenger. Clevenger back to Schumacher through. Schumacher is moving, plays it ahead to Haley. Goalie comes up to the top of the box, and Haley's just got to be more aggressive to get to that. Wind is in his face. Scott on the ball. Schumacher comes over to pressure. Ball played through. Good ball down the line for Lee. Dowell pressures. Calandro's there to clear it away. Still in, and it'll skip out of bounds. Throw in for the Blue Jays. Lee comes over. Taewoo Lee. Comes over for the throw in. Schumacher steps in and dislodges. Back to Scott in the middle. Ball into the corner. And Dowell deflects it off, still on the line in. And Beatty comes down and deflects it out of bounds. And that's a corner kick for the Blue Jays. Rose tying his shoe. We do have that pole in the way, but it looks like you can see it from the angle. Rose plays a line drive in, and good header by number 25, but over the goal. Got in position. Cougars didn't do a great job marking him, and he got to the ball, lifted it over. All right, goal kick for the Cougars on the restart. Dowell up the field, stolen away by Lee. Lee pushes into the middle. Dowell slide tackle, doesn't get to it, but Beatty's there. Beatty trying to clear it out. Clevenger smartly clears it out of the box, and that'll be a throw in. Throw in for the Blue Jays. Clark comes over to take the throw in. Rose takes the strike off the crossbar, and Calandro's able to clear it away. Dangerous strike by Rose. Clark again for the throw-in for the Blue Jays as they're trying to get some momentum on the quick restart. Rose punches it into the box, and Calandro's there to knock it away. Back to the Blue Jays. Scott on the ball, Schumacher defending. Kick back to Clark. To Lee in the middle, Clevenger defending. And ball set in harmlessly to Stewart. Nato tying his shoe on the near side here, and he's ready to go as Stewart's holding. Stewart side spinning ball to the far side. And we do have a three-man crew now. Handball called on Hamlin as he jumped up to try to stop that ball. Rose takes actually he's going to walk off it as Nicholson comes over for the free kick. Braden Nicholson on the ball. Nicholson drives it into the top of the box. Scott tries to get a touch but can't get there. And throw in, or goal kick for the Cougars. Here's a look at that last shot by Rose that he sent off the crossbar. Stewart extended for it but couldn't get to it. And just a little bit too high. Dowell takes the goal kick into the middle. Scott steals. Beatty's there to steal it back, but in the middle with some room. Tries for the through ball and gets there. Nato on the run. Nato holds up play, waits for support, plays it down the line on the diagonal for Haley, but Haley wasn't there to make the run. And you can see here, Nada looked back and lost sight, and that's when Haley broke back. Haley's just got to make that corner post run. He's got support coming from behind, so there's no need for him to hold up play. Schumacher takes the throw in on the near side over to Clevenger. Clevenger drops back for Schumacher to bring it back into the middle. Schumacher pushes into the middle. He's going to make a move, sets up, takes the strike, and saved by the Blue Jays. Here to the near side. Clark up to Scott. Scott holds up. Scott takes some time, plays it back to Clark. Haley comes over for the challenge. Clark's going to switch the field. Good settle by Sawkins with his chest and gets it back to the middle for Calandro. Into Hamlin, who touches it back to Haley. Haley back to Clevenger. And miscommunication there with Clevenger and Schumacher. Nicholson steals and plays it through to Rose. Rose on the far side. Sawkins chasing back. Can't get to it, and Bowman's able to come in and clear. Sawkins plays it back into the middle. Nicholson up to number 4 and deflected away by Calandro. Clevenger with a good through ball as Hamlin will chase. Younger Nicholson gets back to win it on the far side and plays it down the far line. Rose comes over to receive. Rose on the ball. Back into the middle. Clevenger pokes away to Sawkins. Sawkins tries to play it up the line out of bounds and throw in for the Blue Jays. Nicholson over for the throw in. Clevenger steals. Good fake by Clevenger looking for space. Oh, gets around him, gets fouled, no call. Back to Dahl at the back line. Dahl's pushing up into the middle. Plays it back to Clevenger wide. Clevenger, good patience, gets it back to Bowman. Bowman back to Clevenger. Clevenger plays it down the line, deflected away by Rose, and then Nicholson throw in for the Blue Jays. Dahl throw in down the far sideline. Nicholson deflects, but back to Dahl. And Dahl gets called for the trip. That'll be a free kick for the Blue Jays. Nicholson takes the quick restart down the line to Rose. Rose on the far side. Clevenger up in front. Through ball, and Sawkins gets there to deflect it away, throwing for the Blue Jays. Throw into Rose as Hamlin comes down and steals. Gives it right back to the Blue Jays, though. All the way down into the box. Bowman pokes it away. Ball played across the box. Stewart's there, can't hold it. And goal for the Blue Jays. And see, this is a ball that's got to be cleaned up by Stewart. And I don't know if I even have it in frame. Unfortunately, I don't. All right, restart of play. Down 1-0. Disappointing goal to give up on a ball that Stewart had in his hands and just couldn't hold on to. Down the far side for Rose. Clevenger helps back and knocked out of bounds by the Blue Jays, throwing for the Cougars. Ball played down the far side for Schumacher. Nicholson's able to steal away. Played through, and Lee's there. If he can get to it, he does. Stewart comes up, and he's able to hold on to it. Rolls it out to the near side for Dahl. Dahl wearing the black headband today. Still in play. Deflected away. And throwing for the Blue Jays. Played into the middle. Clevenger's there. sends it high into the air. Dowell comes up to play it. Tries to send it wide to Hamlin, but just got too much on the top of the foot and sent it all the way out of bounds. Throw in for the Blue Jays. Ball back to Clark on the back line. Clark has some times looking for his options. Plays it wide and loses it out of bounds, throwing for the Cougars. See if the Cougars can take advantage of this favorable spot. Beatty throws in. Haley misses. Back to the middle for Clevenger. Clevenger makes a move and gets into the top of the box. Still fighting for possession. Schumacher there settles it down with his chest. Schumacher makes a move, gets through into the box. Still on it. Schumacher still making a play. Nato gets in. Still fighting for possession. Nato pokes it in. Goalie's there to stop it and deflected away. Clevenger takes the one time and deflected off the Blue Jays for a corner kick for the Cougars. A lot of action there in the box. Blue Jays trying to clear and couldn't. And a good attack by Nato and Schumacher on the near side. Clevenger taking the corner for the Cougars. Haley and Schumacher on the backside. Hamlin on the post. Nato right there in front of the keeper. Bouncing ball sent in, and couldn't tell if the Blue Jays deflected that or not. Saying no, they didn't. It's going to be a goal kick for the Blue Jays as Justin Boney subs into the game. Haley's subbing out. Played out of the back to Clark. To Scott in the middle. Scott pokes it back to the middle, but Clevenger's there to steal. Good move by Clevenger. Clevenger on the ball. Nicholson pressuring. Drop back to Dowell. Dowell, good decision there to go to space. Clevenger back to Bowman. Bowman into the middle, back to Dowell. Scott comes in and steals. Clevenger's able to poke it back to Hamlin. Hamlin opens up to receive it and gives it to Schumacher off target, and Nicholson pokes it back to Scott. Over to the younger Nicholson on the far side. Plays it into the middle for number 4. Played through. You might have been off, and the AR is going to signal offside. And that will be a free kick for the Cougars. It was close, but he was a step off. Calandro comes over to restart in the middle of the field. Side spinning ball in. Schumacher heads it forward to Boney. Back into the middle. Schumacher tries to take it out of the air, and Clark's there to settle. Clark plays it through. Calandro gets back, heads it down, and Calandro clears it away. And that'll be a throw in for Lee. Lee throws it into Scott. Schumacher challenging. Gets over the top and sent into the box. Stewart's able to come up and grab it. Pick up the wind here. Rolled out to Clevenger on the far side. Clevenger has room to carry as he's getting challenged from behind. Clevenger down the line to Hamlin. Nicholson to the ball. Good cutback for his brother, Braden. Boney pressuring ball. Braden gets through. Plays it into the middle. Calandro steps up and draws the foul. That'll be a free kick for the Cougars. Back to live action. Calandro ready to take the free kick. Boney makes the run, sent into the far side for Clevenger. Clevenger off of his shoulder into the box and cleared out by the Blue Jays. Up to Rose on the middle of the field. Rose up ahead again offside. And free kick for the Cougars. So far it does feel like an evenly matched game. Cougars are playing without Nelson and Perigin, but they're doing a good job. It's been nice to have Sawkins in the lineup for the Cougars today. Sawkins playing that right back position. Cougars doing a good job moving the ball. Calandra into the middle of the field. Free kick. Oh, it's loose. Nato with the shot. Gets back to the ball. And cleared away. That'll be a corner kick for the Cougars. Really good ball on the restart. Nato gets their shot on goal. And back to live action. Clevenger will come over to take the corner. Waiting for a ball to come into action. Halfway done with the first half. Blue Jays leading 1-0. Clevenger plays a low spinning ball in. Lee heads it away. Blue Jays have some room to run. Scott comes up to receive the ball. Scott plays it through. He's onside this time. And he gets ahead into the box. Calandra, good job getting back. Really good hustle by Calandra there as he tracks back and gets position after the first touch and clears it away. That'll be a corner kick for the Blue Jays. Scott's hustling over to grab the ball off the fence line. It's one of the things they never think about, you know, coaching for 30 years, but you still can't remember to put balls out for the game. So one ball in play as we chase it around the field. Scott sends a spinning ball in. Clevenger's there to head it out. Shot on the follow by Nicholson off frame. And goal kick for the Cougars. And it looks like Titus Clevenger is going to help out now to retrieve balls. Calandra side spinning ball in. Lee heads it down. Calandra is going to get back to it. Plays it up in the air with his left to Nato. Nato on the near side gets to the ball. Plays it up to Boney to chase. Back line tracks back for the Blue Jays. Clark on it. Nato steals into the middle. And Nicholson clears right to Clevenger. Clevenger touch over to Schumacher. Scott pushes off and gets into position. Scott plays it down the line, near side. Calandra is able to get over there. And Calandra, good job shielding, but can't get rid of it. Back to the Blue Jays. Sawkins steps in and clears. Nicholson back to the ball in the middle of the field. Clevenger defending. Clevenger pokes it through. Clevenger again right there to take that turn. Hamlin put it to Boney. Boney loses it in the middle. Nicholson steals. Beatty steps up. Dangerous challenge by Beatty in that situation. Played across the box. Sawkins loses his feet. Rose is there on the ball. Rose taking it to the corner and shot. Stewart's able to get it over the frame. And that will be a corner kick for the Blue Jays. Good job by Stewart getting that over the goal. It's a lesson for any young goalie. Those balls that are above your head, it's just too hard to try to grab that when it has any kind of velocity on it. It's best just to lift it over the crossbar and settle for a corner kick. All right, Scott will come over to take the corner for the Blue Jays. Rose at the 6-yard mark. Sent in. Calandra heads away. Rose on the ground, sends it in. Dowell's there. Dowell deflects it and sends it down the far side. Boney's there to receive it. Boney tries to play it Stolen away by the Blue Jays. Bunny's still chasing. Back to Nicholson on the far side. Nicholson has some time, plays it to Rose. Rose sets up with his left and plays it down the line. Good diagonal run by number 4, and Bowman's able to deflect it off them for a goal kick for the Cougars. Good patient defense there by Bowman in cover, and team defense there with Sawkins and Bowman. Bowman is able to win the challenge. Dow and Calandro back. They may try to play it out of the back here. They are playing a tough wind, so it will be their advantage in the second half. If they can keep the score 1-0, that gives them a good chance in the second half. Dow plays it up to Schumacher. Schumacher drops back to Calandro, back to Schumacher. Schumacher able to turn this time. Still on the ball, Scott defending. Schumacher looks for his option, plays it to the far side. Hamlin has plenty of room to run. Hamlin gets over to it, keeps it in. Nicholson defending and makes the tackle. That will be a throw in for the Cougars. Calandro is going to sub off, and Spencer Jackson coming in the game. So Clevenger will come to the back line. Jackson up top. Hamlin takes the throw in over to Boney. Boney receives, gets back in control, plays it down the line to Hamlin. Hamlin into Schumacher. Schumacher's able to turn. Schumacher gets into the top of the box, puts it over to Dow. Dow settles. Has time, gives it back to Boney. Boney over to Schumacher. Schumacher makes a move. Back to Dow. Dow 30 out. Takes the shot, spinning ball in, and not enough on it. Easy save for the goalkeeper for the Blue Jays. Punt up ahead. Dow challenges with Lee. Dow wins the challenge to Schumacher. Back to Bowman. Bowman into the middle. Nicholson's there and wins it. Lee to the ball. Nato hustles back, leaves it for Beatty. Beatty into the middle for Dow, stolen away by Nicholson. Back to Nato, who gives it to Boney in the middle with some room. Boney leaves it for Dow. Dow tries to poke through to Jackson, and Clark's there and deflects it away. Boney plays it to the far side. That will go out of bounds, thrown for the Blue Jays. Under 15 to play here in the first half. Schumacher comes up to pressure. Ball played down the far side. Sawkins makes a good touch into the middle, but nobody's there to connect, and the Blue Jays steal. Through ball, set up for the Blue Jays into the top of the box. Beatty tries to get around. Lee takes the shot and scores, and that's the second goal of the game for Taewoo Lee for the Blue Jays. Goes off of Stewart's knee. And as good as Stewart did the last one, that one he made a mistake with his hands up. You got to turn your hands down on those low balls and make fists to block those away instead of letting that play off your body. Tough challenge, though, as he was one on the goalie. Those are ones that you would expect that Lee would finish, and he did. So 2-0 the score now for the Blue Jays. Bowman over to Hamlin on the far side. Hamlin into the middle for Schumacher. Schumacher still on the ball, carries it back to the middle, getting into space. Schumacher looking to set up a shot, takes the shot, and just doesn't get anything on it. Back on the far side, Sawkins gets a touch, but Rose steals. And Lee back into the box, Dowell defending. Lee still working. Drops it for number 4. Shot right to Stewart. Good position by Stewart to make the save. Stewart side spinning ball up to Schumacher. Schumacher settles, makes the turn. Schumacher with room in front. Plays it through to Hamlin. Good ball up to Hamlin on the far side. Hamlin gets around the edge and plays it across the box, and the keeper's right there to grab it. Punted into the middle. Schumacher tries to get to it over to Rose. Bouncing ball. Rose is able to settle. Ball played through again. And good job by Beatty challenging. That'll be a corner kick for the Cougars as Beatty's limping. Beatty's going to stay in the game, go to the near post. Rose comes over, left-footed striker to take the corner kick. Rose low ball in, gets through. Nato steps in, and that goes into the goal off the deflection. 3-0 the lead. 11:48 on the official clock. Let's take a look at that on replay. Just a fortunate bounce for the Blue Jays. And nobody from the Cougars could clear. 3-0, 11:48 on the clock. Boney will restart the game. And Calandra comes back in. Big difference when Calandra is out is being able to defend that back line. The Cougars just don't have the depth to have Calandra on the bench along with Nelson and Youngberg. Ball into the middle. Clevenger steals. Clevenger makes a move, gets to the middle. Nicholson steps in. Clevenger still on the ball. Takes a shot with his left, deflects away up to Nato. Nato into the box. And the Blue Jays do a good job defending. Nicholson just decides to clear it out to reset. Cougars will get a throw in. Clevenger makes the throw in. Schumacher chests it back to Clevenger. Clevenger on the ball on the end line. Makes the move down the end line. Shot deflected up to the middle for Dow. Dow tries to settle but can't control it. Has good job playing it back to his defender, Sawkins. Sawkins back in. Back to Dow. Dow cuts it back into the middle. Scott is there. Dow slide tackles. And Blue Jays end up with it. Another good effort by Dow, called for the foul that time as he got his foot. Let's take a look as Nicholson's down. That's the right time to take that foul before a threat starts. Kill any chance for transition. Okay, restart by Clark. Clevenger makes the touch. Boney steps in and gets the steal for Hamlin on the far side. Rose comes back and wins the ball for the Blue Jays. Hamlin steals. Hamlin gets to the edge. Still on the ball. Nicholson pressuring. Hamlin loses it off the slide tackle by Nicholson, but it will result in a corner for the Cougars. Schumacher comes over to take the corner this time. Again, this wind is quite a factor. At least it seems to be when the Cougars kick the ball in the air, the wind's really holding it up. So we'll see if they can get some momentum in the second half when Youngberg will be playing again. Schumacher sets up for the corner. Ref holding up play. Boney causing disruption in the box. Ref says it's okay to go. Schumacher driving ball in and headed away by Rose. Dow chases back and gets to it. Dow plays it wide to Schumacher on the far side. Schumacher on the ball, defended by Rose, still on the ball. Send it into the box, and keeper's there to receive it. Schumacher didn't put that where he wanted. Ball played to the near side. Settled in play. That's Scott on the ball. Flips it over Beatty's head. Calandro comes over to challenge. And throw in for the Cougars. Calandro throwing down the line. Up to Clevenger. Poked high into the air. Scott's there. Clevenger fighting for possession. Scott gets in, carries it to the middle. Dow's there to steal. Gives it to Clevenger. Clevenger switches the field over to Hamlin. And lost by the Cougars, throwing for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays making some subs. Under 8 to play here in the first. Thrown into the middle of the field. Dow comes up and wins possession. Bowman clears it to the middle. Scott's there. Nato challenges and draws the foul, causes the foul. And free kick for the Blue Jays. Scott sets up, takes a bouncing ball in, and Stewart does a good job playing it. Tricky wind. Stewart side spinning ball to the far side. Looks like it's going to go out of bounds and throw in for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays keep it in off the throw in. Nicholson, Hamlin challenging. Ball into the middle, switched over to the center back. Ball played ahead. Calandro comes up to challenge. Stewart comes up and plays it with his feet. And over to Sawkins on the far side. Sawkins plays it down the line, stolen away by the Blue Jays. Clevenger comes back and was able to win it. Still in play. Bowman steps up, plays it into the middle. Nato plays it back. Clark on the back line steps in and plays it wide. Beatty steps in and dislodges the ball back to Clark. Clark with time as Nato comes up to challenge. Clark gets around. Sends the ball in, and Stewart gets there and secures it in the air for the save. Stewart side spinning ball again over to the far side. Hamlin gets a touch into the middle for Clevenger. Clevenger plays it up ahead. Hamlin will chase as Nicholson's there, and the ball goes out of bounds, thrown for the Blue Jays. More subs coming in for the Blue Jays. Ball played in on the far side. Bowman is chasing it back. He's looking for his options. And shields it out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick for the Cougars. Well played by Bowman. Calandro sets up for the goal kick for the Cougars. Sends it into the middle. Schumacher's there. Schumacher settles. Tries to turn and loses the ball. Blue Jays to Scott. Scott into the middle. Beatty clears. Up to Boney, who leads it for Clevenger. Clevenger on the ball. Carries to the far side. Plays it through to Hamlin. Hamlin and Nicholson chase into the corner. Nicholson letting it roll, plays the ball, and Hamlin steals, keeps it in on the line. Nope, out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for the Blue Jays. 3:30 left to play here in the first half. Blue Jays have most of their subs in. Scott and Clark are the two recognizable starters. Let's see, Nicholson and I guess their back line's in also. Scott to the ball. Makes a move back to the middle. Gets into some space in the middle. Ball played down the line on the far side. Sawkins does a good job getting back. Blue Jays try to keep it in but can't, and goal kick for the Cougars. Sawkins gets good position here, shields the ball, and is able to win the ball back for College Heights. Flandreau goal kick to the near side. Nato's here. Nato receives it, tries to turn, and falls on the ball. Blue Jays steal. Back in the middle for Scott with some room. Scott pokes it through. Calandro comes over and clears away. And throw in for the Blue Jays. Foul called on this throw in here. Let's see what the call was. I'm not sure what they were calling there. Oh, I guess push on that initial, called Schumacher for the push on the initial throw in. Scott takes the shot. Good job by Dahl heading it away. Back into the middle for Schumacher. Schumacher makes a move to the middle. Looks for his option on Dahl on the run. Good touch by the Blue Jays back line. And back to Clark in the middle. Clark has room to carry. Schumacher steps in. Through ball. He's on, it looks like. And good job by Beatty getting there to dislodge. Good run. It actually looked like he might have been off, but good job by Beatty getting back to clear that away. Corner kick for the Blue Jays. Less than a minute to play. Scott's taking his time to get down to the corner. Scott sends the ball in. Clevenger's able to head it away into Schumacher with some room to run out front. Schumacher heavy on the touch and loses the ball. And 20 seconds left here in the first half. Schumacher back in. Dahl wins the ball. Clark wins the ball here on the near side. Plays it back into the middle. Good ball, and Stewart's able to read it and get to it. And that should do it for the first half as he throws it wide to Hamlin. And 0's on the clock. Halftime horn. So at halftime, Greenwood Blue Jays leading 3-0. And we'll take an audio break here. We'll send you through some replays during halftime. Thank you guys for tuning in. Take a look at our special friends of the program on these halftime businesses. They aren't sponsoring directly this broadcast or anything. These are just friends of the program that we put on here.
corner flag here.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, guys, we're ready to start the second half. Jan, you want to do the second half broadcast with me? We got Jan Stali up here in the booth, Greenwood head coach and Missouri State Hall of Famer.
Well, yeah, that was quite an event this past February, Brian.
Jan, let me give you a microphone.
Oh, sure. Okay.
There you go. You want to just pin that on you?
Sure.
Cougars play it over to the near side for Dow. Drop back to Youngberg. Youngberg's back in the game now in the second half for the Cougars. That should be a big help. Youngberg sends it in. And gathered up by the keeper, Winslow.
You know, Winslow has never played keeper until this year. He's done us a really good job, Brian.
Yeah, he looks like he understands the shaping.
Oh, he does. I mean, from day one compared to today, there's a difference of night and day.
Nice.
There's Seabass, and here, this is our best player, number 10, Andrew Scott.
Into the middle for Serrato. Schumacher pressuring the ball. Youngberg's able to deflect away. Nicholson on the ball, back to Serrato, chipped into Scott. Scott back to the ball. Plays it over to Rose. Rose, the leading scorer for the Blue Jays, into the box. And good challenge by Calandro. I think he got it off the Blue Jays' foot. And that will be a goal kick for the Cougars. Jan, what's your record so far on the year?
We are 6-3.
6-3, okay. Yeah, we've talked about wanting to be in the Big 8 conference because we play all the Big 8 teams already,
Yeah.
and it seems like you guys do also.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. But I can tell you where I sent that over to our AD, Darren Taylor, and both John Markey, we're co-head coaches because we only have about 80 years of experience.
Yeah.
But anyway, we both want to join that conference, Brian, but there's a little bad blood between Greenwood and Catholic, so I think that's...
Oh, okay.
But it shouldn't matter for soccer,
right?
It's more basketball than... So I hope that they're going to okay it.
Are you guys in a conference for basketball? Or are you non-conference?
Non-conference.
Okay.
As far as I know.
Cleared away. Calandro's down. Let's see.
You got hit in the face.
Look at this on replay. Hawkins was able to clear it across, but it looks like it got Calandro in the nose.
Well, you guys are out. 4 guys, you said, right?
We have Nelson is serving his 1-game suspension from a red card against Webb.
Yeah.
And then Peregrine and Anredder are running cross country today. So those 3. Youngberg was out the first half, our captain, at a coach's decision to hold him out the first half from a red card he got against New Covenant. So he served his 1 game against Webb, but then they gave him the additional half today. It looks like Calandro is walking off. Looks a little ginger. They'll probably have to do a concussion test on him. He's holding his nose like it might be bleeding. Coach Dogash sporting his new warm-up outfit today.
Yeah, we're next preseason, we're going to have like 11 seniors. And we're taking the team to Sweden and Denmark.
Oh, awesome.
5 games. Kids
so that will be in the fall?
Yeah, it'll be late July, and we'll come back right before the dead week.
Okay.
Like August 6th or whatever.
Oh, that's really cool. And are you going to your hometown?
Yes. Going to go to Malmö, which is right across from Copenhagen, Denmark, and but the kids gets to see a different culture. We have a king and a queen. The royal guards, and of course some of the kids don't even know who ABBA is, but we have the ABBA Museum. And
Now, you came over from Sweden in middle school, high school?
no, high school.
High school?
Yeah, came over when I was 17 and went to Greenwood my senior year. And then I came over to play football, but there's only one country who calls football soccer,
Right.
and it's United States. So I showed up to practice in my shorts and t-shirt, and I saw these dummies throwing a pigskin around, and I go, where's football practice? Right here, son. What do you call the ball with that's round and black and white dots? Oh, that's soccer. We don't have that. So
and that was at Greenwood?
Yeah.
So does Greenwood still have football?
No.
Okay.
They folded. I started coaching Greenwood in '92 when I left MSU, and that was the first.
Good through ball to lead by Scott.
Great ball.
To Rose. Cougars are able to come in and dislodge.
Well, you can see Rose favors his left foot.
Yeah. Yeah, does he always play on the left side, or do you put him on the right side sometimes to cut in?
No, we won't play him on the right side once because he can pass with his right foot, but he certainly don't have a shot with his right foot.
In general, or because of the injury?
The injury.
Yeah. Boney drops it back to Clevenger, being guarded by Serrato. Clevenger finds some space in the middle, plays it through, off target though. That's number 22, Cericchio, plays it back in. Monteith on the ball.
Monteith is a transfer from Springfield Catholic.
Oh, okay. Stolen away by Beatty. Beatty with room in front. Nicholson defending. Nicholson gets the steal. And Youngberg steps in and dislodges the ball. Youngberg has room in front as he plays it down the line for Dahl to run under. Cericchio comes over, clears it to the corner, and that'll be a throw-in for the Cougars.
So anyway, the only thing the coach asked me to kick the football, and my holder, you would know who my holder would recognize his name. His name was Payne Stewart.
Oh yeah.
So every time, right before I kicked the ball, his finger. He took back his finger. Winslow, good job by Winslow there. And I finally asked after a couple of days, isn't he supposed to have his finger on, because there were line drives, and isn't he supposed to have his finger on the ball? And Coach Mullen said, son, you don't understand. That finger is very important to him.
Foul called on Youngberg. Ref's giving him a warning, but not a yellow.
I think that's the right way to do with the players. You give them a verbal warning, and next time.
Scott in the middle for Serrato, shot on goal, and Stewart in good position to make the save. Probably would have liked to see that gone to a post though, rather than right to the middle.
Absolutely. So I think it's good that referees just give a verbal first. If it happens next time, give them a yellow.
Clevenger on the far side. Serrato defending. Good switch to the field over to Dahl. Not enough on it though. Nicholson comes in and steals. Nicholson setting up his attack, plays it, gets a through ball, but nobody's there to connect, and Bowman's going to just clear it out of bounds, throwing for the Blue Jays.
Well, you're doing a great job, Ryan. I'm going to have to go down.
Okay. Well, thanks for stopping in, Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to give me that microphone, I'll put it back in the case.
Best of luck to you guys.
All right, you too.
All right, take care. See ya.
Clevenger gets it touched up to Boney. Clark chasing back. Clark, good job shielding, drops it to the keeper, Winslow, and Winslow clears it away. Serrato, number 4, on the ball. Nato and Clevenger come back to pressure. Bounces over Lieb. Youngberg gets it touched to Schumacher. Schumacher has some room. Schumacher being defended by Scott. Over to Clevenger. Clevenger back to Schumacher, deflected off of number 24, Frederick. And back to Clevenger. Ball lost to Schumacher into the middle. Nicholson's able to get over and dislodge it, but it gets to Dahl. Still fight for possession. Hamlin gets a good claw back. Still on the ball. Stolen away by the Blue Jays. Over to Sawkins on the near side. Gets it to the corner for Dial. Dial sets up the cross and just didn't get enough turn on it. It goes out of bounds. That'll be a goal kick for the Blue Jays. And I did forget to start the clock when I was chatting with Coach Stolly, so let me see if I can get that clock to the right time. 31:20 looks to be about the right restart. Bowman steps in and dislodges the ball from Lee. Boney comes back and gets called for the foul. Yellow card given to Clevenger, and didn't actually see what happened there as I was. Let's see if I can jump back to see the discussion. Doesn't look like I can get back to it. It's a restart of play after Clevenger's yellow. Calandro clears it up to Youngberg. Youngberg will take the restart off the foul. Ball over to Dow on the far side. Nicholson tries to play it down. Dow up into the air, and Scott steals. Rose back to Scott. Scott playing to space. Cuts it back to Nicholson. Dow comes in and challenges. Nicholson loses out of bounds. Throw in for the Cougars. Dow into Schumacher. Schumacher drops to Dow. Dow tries to play it through. Schumacher back to the ball. And Scott on the ball plays it through to Lee on the diagonal run. Lee gets to it. Bowman's there. Bowman using his speed. And good challenge by Bowman. Loses it out of bounds. That will be a corner kick for the Blue Jays. .30 minutes left here in the second half. Blue Jays leading 3-0. Scott over to take the corner for the Blue Jays. High ball to the backside. Rose is there for the header. Calandro comes in to challenge, and Beatty clears it high into the air. Nato and Nicholson fight for possession. Nicholson's able to get it and clear it over to Serrato. Serrato plays it in, but Clevenger's there, Calandro's there, to clear. And out of bounds, Blue Jays will get the throw in. Frederick, number 24, takes the throw in for the Blue Jays. Monteith on the ball. Schumacher defending on Monteith. Monteith looking for space. Drops it back to Clark on the back line. Ball played into the middle, and Sawkins comes in to steal. Plays it through to Dow, stolen away by the Blue Jays. Rose on the ball, plays it on the diagonal for Lee. Good diagonal run again by Lee. Bowman, good position to defend. Gets it back to Rose, cutting into the far post. Rose gets through, takes the shot, and great save by Stewart. Stewart plays it out to Youngberg on the near side. Youngberg opens up, has some time. Scott in front defending. Youngberg plays it down for Dow. Beautiful ball up to Dow. Dow gets into the corner of the box, takes the one touch, and probably had time to make a move there, cut it across as he had support in the middle. But you can see just a beautiful ball down the line by Youngberg. And it'll be a goal kick for the Blue Jays. Clark will restart for the Blue Jays. Plays it out to the far side for Frederick. Boney pressuring ball. Frederick's able to cut it back into the middle. Stolen away. Hamlin's there. Back to the middle. Youngberg pokes it back into Boney. Let's see Youngberg settle that. Frederick tries to clear. Clevenger's there. Clevenger gets it to Youngberg with some room. Scott comes over to pressure. Youngberg into Schumacher. Schumacher gets a touch, but can't get to control. And ball's in the box, and Winslow smartly comes over and clears. Just that ball by Youngberg was a good idea, just a little bit too far ahead, and Schumacher couldn't get to it. If he could have received that, and then he had an open look at the goal from the top of the box. All right, it'll be a throw-in for the Cougars. Clevenger takes the throw-in, gets it into the box. Schumacher's there, takes the one touch, but doesn't get a good strike on it, sends it wide of the frame. It's still in play, and it will roll out for a goal kick for the Blue Jays. Winslow restarts on the goal kick over to Scott on the top of the box. Stolen away by Hamlin, but Hamlin's called for the handball. And restart for the Blue Jays. Nicholson restarts up ahead to Sawkins. Sawkins being pressured by Lee, sends it down the line and stolen away by Rose. Dahl helps back. Rose gets it in the middle, tries to make the move through, but Sawkins is there, good feet. And Sawkins clears it away, throwing for the Blue Jays. Thrown by Scott into the middle for Nicholson. Nicholson through to Lee and through everybody. Bowman's back, and he'll leave it for Stewart. It goes out of the box, so Stewart's going to have to play it with his feet. Stewart sets up and plays it into the middle for Scott to steal. Lee tries to kick it over to Rose, but mistouches, and Cougars cleared away. Over to the far side, cleared away by Beatty. Monteith pressuring ball over there, and it will be a throw-in for the Blue Jays. Nicholson on the ball, being pressured by Clevenger, and draws the foul on Clevenger. That will be a free kick for the Blue Jays from a dangerous spot. See, Clevenger just got a little too square rather than having that staggered foot stand so he could open up, and had to take the foul as Nicholson was able to get by him. Rose set up for not sure what the dispute is. Oh, he's asking for space. Got a three-man wall. Beatty, Clevenger, and Boney on the wall. Chance Rose set up for the free kick. He's about 28 out. He should have a chance to take it on frame. Deflected off the wall. Lee comes in and sells out, tries to get it to his head. Think it hit him off the back of the neck. Take a look at that on replay. Maybe off the shoulder. But it will be a goal kick for the Cougars. Youngberg takes the goal kick into the middle. Schumacher tries to settle. Loses it back to the Blue Jays. Scott plays it through to Lee. Lee holds up and stolen away by Youngberg. Youngberg plays it to the near side. And Dahl's able to get there. Dahl back to Schumacher with some room. Schumacher looking to switch the field. Cuts it back to the middle. Nicholson steps in. Schumacher gets through. Both ways! Call the first one. Cougars get a free kick. Youngberg sends it all the way to the corner for Dow. Dow's able to keep it in. And corner kick for the Cougars. Youngberg sets up for the corner. High ball in. Winslow's there. Gets through, and Monteith's able to get in and clear it. Calandra called for the foul. Calandra sold out and got into Monteith's leg on the clear, and it's called for the foul. Blue Jays will get a goal kick, or a free kick, I'm sorry. Restart a play to Crecio. Over to Nicholson on the near side. Youngberg comes over to pressure ball. Nicholson cuts it back in to Scott. Scott, good ball as Sawkins is back to make a play on it. Stolen back by the Blue Jays on the far side, or on the near side for Rose. Sawkins in front. Rose makes a move to the corner. Gets the end line, plays across, but out of bounds, and that will be a goal kick for the Cougars. Youngberg sets up for the goal kick. 21 minutes left to play here in the second half. Blue Jays leading 3-0. Clevenger, good ball up ahead to Schumacher on the run. Clark's back there to get position. Schumacher working to get around him. And Clark's made the touch. Schumacher wins it, still in. Plays it to Boney in the middle and stolen away by Nicholson. Challenged by Scott and Youngberg. Back to Serrato. Lee comes up to win the ball. Bowman steps in to challenge. Sawkins comes over, and Rose is on the near side. Bowman comes in and clears away, and throw in for the Blue Jays. Take a look back at this move in the corner here. Schumacher's able to win it and plays it up to Boney, and just a little miscommunication by Boney what he wanted to do there. Sawkins is able to steal. Bowman gets it back to Youngberg in the middle on a really good play. Plays it, good transition play by the Cougars up to Dahl on the near side. Dahl pokes through Nicholson's feet and back to the ball. Dahl drops to Youngberg. Youngberg takes the one time from 45 out and no chance. Sends it way over the goal. And goal kick for the Cougars. Winslow takes the goal kick for the Blue Jays. Plays it over to Dow. Stolen away into Youngberg. Youngberg one time, and that was a good one-time attempt by Youngberg from about 30 out. Take a look back at this. The wind is really a factor here in this second half in the Cougars' favor. Youngberg just wide of the post. And another goal kick for the Blue Jays. Settled in the middle of the field by Schumacher off the chest to Youngberg. Youngberg talking to Clevenger, getting an option, and gets it stolen by Monteith. Monteith still on the ball. Beatty and Calandra both trying to get to it. Monteith gets all the way to the box and goes down. Rush Stewart is there to clean it up. Stewart punts it away, side spinning ball into the middle. Schumacher tries to settle, bounces over his head. Nicholson pops it high into the air. Clevenger's there. Clevenger settles with his right foot. Serrato defending. Clevenger a little too much one-on-one in the middle. He had Youngberg there that he could have given the ball to. Tried to make a move. Back into the middle. Schumacher to the ball, gives it to Youngberg. Youngberg has time, switches the field again to Dahl. Dahl's there if he can get to it. He's able to keep it in. Dahl settles, plays it across, and again, just a little bit too deep and out of bounds. Goal kick for the Blue Jays. Clark restarts play. Ball into the middle for Nicholson to Scott. Good third man passing there by the Blue Jays. Scott sends it into the top, and Calandro gets over and clears it away to the far side. That will go out of bounds, throwing for the Blue Jays. 17:30 left to play here in the second half. Blue Jays holding on to that 3-0 lead. Monteith on the ball. Beatty pressuring. Monteith gets through. Calandro comes over and deflects. That will be a corner kick for the Blue Jays. Low ball, and that's what the AR is saying. They hit him in the chest. And Stewart clears the way to the near side. To the middle. Plays it through again for Dow. Number 22, Crescio, comes back and plays it with his left up to Scott. Plays it through to Monteith. Calandro back. Calandro. Youngberg steals as Scott was retreating. Rose plays it through, and still advantage called off the handball from lost his feet and gets it stolen away by Nicholson. Nicholson, good job by Sawkins and Calandro team defense, and Stewart's able to come up and grab the ball. Under Fidal and Nicholson, good job by Dow shielding to get position. Riccio comes. Grant Nicholson with a throw into Rose. Rose drops it back to Creccio on the back. And Clevenger is able to clear up to Boney. Deflect. And Clark for the Blue Jays clears up to the middle of the field for Monteith. Monteith, good lead for Serrato on the far side. Calandro deflect on the far side. Schumacher comes over to play as Monteith leaves it for Nicholson. Nicholson plays for the goal. Off that side spinning ball, Rose gets to it, and Calandro comes over, but just a beautiful upper nine. Cougars will restart play as Boney's on the ball. The Dow again on the near side. Dow gets through. Dow cuts to the middle. Still on the ball. Deflected. Youngberg defended in front. Dives in to back to Dow on the near side. Dow pokes it ahead. Wins pick. Back to Clevenger. Schumacher playing up. Dow drops back to Schumacher. Schumacher sends it in one. Serrato gets settled in the middle of the field. Nicholson steps in to defend. Dow back to Youngberg with space up top. Clevenger on the. Dow inbounds to low block. And ball sent in away from the top side spinning ball. Goes over to clear away. Subs coming in the game for the Blue Jays. Coach Sally said, and it wasn't until that last goal by Rose that the subs run into the middle, fight for the ball with Holden and Calandro. Calandro heads it into the air. Scott takes it out of the air and plays it into the middle to Hamlin. Hamlin shot on goal, and Winslow's right there to grab it. Schumacher there, side. Scott carries down the line and fight for the ball with Dahl and number 20, Josh Pooty. Good ball. Under 9 to play, or 9, I should say 9 minutes. Dahl sends it across. Good ball. It's still there. Boney with the header, and that's a goal for the Cougars. And Boney is there for the header goal, and the Cougars now 4-1. All right, Blue Jays will restart play. Hamlin comes into pressure, drop back to Winslow. Dahl comes over to challenge. Back into the middle. A lot of room in the middle of the field as Calandro leaves it for Redden. And loses it out of bounds, throwing for the Cougars. Good job by Sawkins stepping in and winning the challenge to Dow. Dow drops to Youngberg for Calandro. Calandro switched to the field to Good idea there by Calandra, but throw in stolen away by Youngberg. Back to Clark. Boney pressuring the ball through, and Strachio back in by Clevenger to Youngberg. Youngberg a little heavy as Clevenger chases to the corner. Good move by Clevenger to keep it in on frame. Scott settles as Clevenger gets it to the near side for Dahl. He's down the line, and Blue Jay number 20 on the ball. That's gets it to shoots it into is on it. Winslow deflects. Clevenger gets back. Clevenger just on the clock as some subs are coming on. Clock is restarted. Titus Clevenger down there. Nicholson, another throw in clear. Knocked off Bowman had to come over and clear it, and it will be a ref is stopping the clock for the restart up to the middle. Looking for Clevenger to Winslow's there. Backside to connect to Youngberg's send in. And a gust of wind coming in trying to blow away my setup here. Pops it back to Clevenger on the far side. Schumacher at the top sends it. Oh, good ball in. Winslow punts it high into the air. Deflects it out of bounds, throw in for the Cougars. Schumacher turns it back to the middle, tries to switch it off target, but it's there with his left and clears it out of bounds, throw in for the Cougars. Leading for a Cassville game. Gave it to Clander with some space at the top. Clark's in and takes the shot, and that's a goal. Beautiful strike by, just beautifully placed in the back corner. What I am showing. 4-2 is the score. Played wide to Alfaro on the near side, and out of bounds keeps it in and plays it ahead. Nobody there to connect, and Winslow is able to grab it. That probably would have been a smart one for Winslow to just let go out of bounds. To kill away by Clevenger. Clevenger, good move, gets foul advantage is called. Clevenger into the middle, sets up the shot, fakes it, puts it to Dahl. Dahl back to Clevenger. Hamlin got to it and had a chance, but took it right off the elbow. That will do it for. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back here at 1 o'clock for the consolation game of the Greenwood tournament, playing the loser of the Cassville Aurora game.